I held staff meetings every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. People would start to file in around 5 to 10, and they'd all get there by about 10 after 10, and the real meeting didn't even start till about 10:15. I watched this play out over and over again. I've done the math. Those 15 minutes a week totaled over 100 staff hours per year. That's 13 full working days lost because we didn't start on time. Eventually, I got those hours back. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I did it, how it changed everything, and how you can do it too. Hi, I'm Gary, and I show managers how to handle the little stuff a little better, so they won't have big stuff to deal with later on. Now, the problem with meetings starting 15 minutes late isn't just the 15 minutes that are lost at the beginning of the meeting. The bigger problem is that they give permission people to straggle in late because they say to themselves, what's the difference? We don't start on time anyway. And before long, that first 15 minutes can become 20 or 25 or even 30. Because even after everybody arrives, they're still going to take time to chatter before we start. Need a little bit of time to let go of what they were doing before they got there and get ready to be focused on what they're going to do while they're there. That's what chatter does, slowly and sloppily. That's also something that a check-in does, quickly and effectively. It gets people focused on the agenda. Check-ins go by many names, warm-ups, icebreakers, and so on. What you need for recurring meetings is a process that gets straight to the point, focused on the first topic on the agenda. The one that works for me goes by a goofy acronym, PIT, P-I-T. That stands for Personal, Interpersonal, and Task. Let's take a closer look. The first time you use P.I.T, you have to teach the group how it works, so you find yourself saying something like this. Today I'm going to show you a new way to start off our meetings. It's a little framework called P.I.T, P-I-T. It goes like this. During this exercise, you'll take a moment to offer 1 or 2 or 3 thoughts using these guidelines. P is for personal. If you have something going on that impacts the meeting, share it with us. For example, today I've actually got a bit of a toothache, so if I'm quieter than usual, you'll understand why. Personal doesn't mean anything goes. It means something that's affecting your ability to participate in this meeting. The I is for interpersonal, and these are statements of appreciation for other people in the meeting. Amy, your follow-through with that customer was critically important. Thanks so much for your attention to detail. To be clear, I statements are positive in nature. If you have an issue going on with somebody in the group, handle that later, not during check-in. And finally, the T is for task. This is where you'd offer a thought that related directly to the agenda. For example, I'm wondering if we could move the agenda item on new vendors to perhaps next week, because I'm going to be getting some data from some potential new members this afternoon. Now bear in mind, we're not going to be discussing what you bring up in P.I.T unless it needs a quick response. For instance, okay, you're right, let's table the discussion on new vendors and move it to next week. Then you ask the group, are there any questions on how this works? All right, well then let's get started. Jim, you look like you have something. What do you got? And by the third meeting, you can simply start by saying, all right, time for PIT, P-I-T. So what happens when you use PIT with your group? Well, first of all, it creates a smooth transition for folks to let go of whatever they were thinking about as they walked into the room and being ready to be focused on what they're in the room to do. Second, it gives a boost to folks who get an interpersonal comment of appreciation from somebody else in the group. And third, it allows you to fine-tune the agenda if needed. When the check-in is done, people are ready to start with the first item on the agenda. And you'll have replaced 15 to 30 minutes of people filing in, sipping coffee, checking their phones, making small talk, transitioning from where they were to where they are now. So, as I said earlier in the video, I had a problem with people coming to my meetings a few minutes late, getting involved in small talk, and not getting ready to work on the meeting until 10:20, 10:25, even 10:30. And I was complaining about this dynamic with a colleague of mine who suggested I try PIT. I have to admit, I came at the idea a bit reluctantly, saying, is this thing really going to work? It did. After a few PIT-led meetings, a couple of people on the team even came up to me independently and offline saying they had noticed the difference and they appreciated the difference. And then I realized something else. People weren't filing in late anymore. They were coming on time. So I've been talking about a check-in process called PIT, P-I-T. But there are others out there. If you're familiar with any of those and they're working for you, drop a comment and share it with us so we all can learn. And if you're enjoying this video, please consider liking and subscribing for 1 tip a week. I'll see you in the next video.